Session. Today's editorial is a little complicated editorial. A lot of important words are there. So I will not give you time to read. I'll start the session. We'll go with the words. I will not do analysis also. It is a sensitive editorial. No stands, only vocabulary point of view I'm going to tell, language point of view I'm going to tell. So how does it start? But before I start, it's all about, you all know the former CM of Andhra Pradesh was arrested, and what could be the reason? Broad framework, why he was arrested, who arrested, why they took so long, is any political angle regarding that? This is a broad framework. So how does it start? There are two important words. Be alert, underline and write the part of speech meaning. Today, so many words are there to learn. First one, probe and probity. I am sure you all know the word probe, investigation. But write the meaning of the word probity. Probity means being honest. It is on the other side. Being honest. Probity. Probe, probity. The way they started, in a way it is good. And what is this about? On the evaluation of AP State Skill Development Corporation scam case. Underline the word scam. Scam, part of speech, you have to tell the part of speech. What part of speech is it? Noun. Scam means, simply write the word, a fraud. Scam means what? A fraud. Something that is not legally acceptable, not legally correct. Investigating. What is the main idea of this editorial? Investigating agencies must avoid. Underline the word must. Already we have got this helping verb many a time. It has two functions. What is the first function? Must is used to express the personal obligation. Second one, it is used to convey the idea something is compulsory. So must avoid being drawn. Also underline being drawn. That is in passive voice, non-finite verb in a way. Drawn into, being drawn into political contestation. That's an important word. Write the meaning of. What part of speech is it? Contestation. Please write noun. It means to dispute. To be in a state of dispute or to argue. To dispute or to argue. Contestation. To be in that state. Have you got the meaning? So investigating agencies must avoid being drawn into political contestation, because investigating agencies are independent, politically independent. They should not take a particular stand. They should not do anything in favor of a particular government or a particular party, either in power or in opposition. So the main idea is clear. Then any editorial like this, it provides, starts with the investigation, then talks about the allegations, then touches who has been arrested and the reasons behind. Eventually it says whether it is a genuine case or there is some sort of political vendetta. That word is there in the editorial. I'll go to the first one. What is the first word here? Sifting through. Underline the word SIFT. Guess the part of speech. SIFT, sift, part of speech verb. And meaning thorough check. Check something thoroughly. You check something thoroughly. Another meaning, filter, F-I-L-T-E-R. But in this context, it does not talk about filter. It talks about checking something thoroughly. Sifting through, obviously, through is the preposition one has to use. Sifting through allegations. Whenever you come across the word allegations, you have to write the verb form. What is the verb form? Allege. I see a lot of new faces. I request all the students, be alert, be prepared to write a lot quickly. You may not get enough time. So allege is the verb form. What is the noun form? Write the word allegation. Both mean the same. One mean the meaning of allege or allegation. Say that someone has done something wrong, but no evidence. And here I usually give the word accuse. Write the word accuse, verb form. What is the noun form of that? Accusation. In a way, both mean the same. You say someone has done something wrong, but you don't have evidence to prove that. Sifting through allegations of corruption And malfeasance, that's a new word, put a star mark. Malfeasance, that's how you pronounce it. Malfeasance means a wrongdoing of an official. In this context, a former CM. A wrongdoing of an official. Some official does something wrong. Then we use the word malfeasance. Have you heard of this word any time? I have come across for the first time. That means you have to remember. Malfeasance against politicians, especially those in the opposition, after cases are filed by a successor government in Indian states, is a naughty exercise. Underline the verb is. Tell me what is the subject here. This is a very lengthy sentence, interesting sentence. Starting with the word sifting through allegations of corruption and malfeasance against politicians, especially those in the opposition, after cases are filed by a successor government in Indian states. All this comes under subject. Now try to substitute. Something is a naughty exercise. What is the subject here? Something. In place of something, they have used all these words, phrases and clauses. But what is all these words together? Subject. Is a naughty exercise. What do you understand from naughty exercise? Simple or complicated? Write the word complicated. Next one. In states such as Andhra Pradesh, relations between the ruling regime, underline the word regime, part of speech, noun. Current government, government in power, one meaning. And another dimension is there to this. Current government, usually authoritative. Need not be all the time. Some government is in power, that we use the term, the current regime. At the center, which party has a current regime? BJP, current regime. Regime is an important word. We have got many a time in bank exams. It talks about, in states such as Andhra Pradesh, relations between the ruling regime and the opposition have transcended. Underline have transcended. Answer my question, which tense is that? Write present perfect. But write the meaning of the word transcend. Transcend, part of speech. It is a verb. To go beyond. To go beyond the limits. Someone goes beyond the limits of something, then we use the term transcend. Transcend is an important word. There's a term actually, I don't know how many of you know, TM. The capital letters, not trademark, here they mean transcendental meditation. Have you heard of that? Transcendental meditation, very popular in the Western countries. So here, have transcended means what? Cross the limits of political and ideological contestation. Political and ideological, every party has an ideology. So political and ideological contestation. Already have written the meaning of the word contestation. What does it mean? Be in a situation where you either you argue or dispute. And have veered deep into, underline, have veered. Which tense is that again? Present perfect. New students, you have to write that tense. And what does it mean? Veer, that is a verb. It's a regular verb. Means a sudden change. A sudden change in the direction. Someone takes a sudden change in the direction in which he or she is going, then we use this veered. It's also a new word you got to remember. Veered, here, have veered deep into. Deep into what? Outright hostility. We got the word hostility many a time. Usually whenever I come across the word hostility, I give two words. First you write the word hostility. Tell me the part of speech. Write noun. Then you write the word enmity, but be careful with the spelling of the word enmity. What is the spelling? E-N-M-I-T-Y, enmity. I also give another word, an important word, antagonistic. They have given in bank exams many a time. Antagonistic. All the words you have to remember. Hostility. Have you written all the three words? Here it talks about opposition have transcended political and ideological contestation and have waded deep into outright hostility and vendetta. I use this word, that's an important word, please write. Try to guess a part of speech. Please write noun. Vendetta, but the combination usually we say political vendetta. Write the combination word political vendetta. Actually, vendetta, if you take in isolation, the word means blood feud. Have you heard of this any time? Blood feud. First you write these two words, blood feud. Vendetta actually means blood feud. What is this blood feud? You all, I'm sure you all know Rayalaseema factions. Yes or no? So if you go to, actually this goes with tribal people. Imagine there are two tribes, tribe A, tribe B. One member in tribe A was killed by a member of, or a group of people of tribe B. Then tribe A, the entire group tries to kill any member in tribe B. Need not be the same person. Do you understand what I say? Imagine X killed a person in tribe A, and tribe A tries to kill any member of tribe B. That is called blood feud. And in this context, political vendetta means what? Taking revenge. Write the meaning. Taking revenge against the opposition party. Understood. And vendetta as seen in the ongoing rivalry. I'm sure you all know the word rivalry. Rival means what? A competitor, someone who competes. He is my rival, she is my rival. A typical example. Political rivalry, ongoing rivalry between the ruling YSRCP and the Telugu Desam party. Next word is an important word. What is the next word? Prima facie. You can also say prima facie. That's an important one, and it goes with crime. First you write the context, crime. When there is a crime, police go to the crime spot, and prima facie or prima facie, at the outset they think someone is right or someone has committed crime. So it means at the outset, one meaning. Also write on the face of it. On the face of it. As it appears. As it appears. At the outset, on the face of it. Imagine I go to the scene of crime. I see a person with blood stains and a knife in hand. So I can judge prima facie he is a suspect. Have you got the meaning now? Let us go to prima facie, the allegations by the Andhra Pradesh CID, AP CID about what? Malfeasance in the Andhra Pradesh State Skill Development Corporation's functioning way back in 2014 are grave. Underline the word grave. What part of speech is it? It can be a noun. First you write noun. It has two different meanings. One meaning is what? Write a combination word. Please write graveyard. The last place you want to visit. Yes or no? Graveyard. But here grave, bracket you write adjective. As an adjective it means serious. Very serious. And it goes with the word problem. Grave problem means what? Nothing to do with the graveyard. Grave problem means a very serious problem. That's what it means. Context also says the same thing. Here it is, how does the sentence end? It ends with the word, or the allegations are grave. Means what? The allegations are very serious. The predecessor, underline the word predecessor. Pre means what? Before. Predecessor, the one who was in power before the current regime. Now it is YSRCP. Who was in power earlier? TDP. So in this context, who is a predecessor? The TDP. The predecessor government TDP is accused of. Underline the word accuse. Also underline the preposition of. Here you should take a holistic approach. What is this holistic approach? When you attend this session, it is not only for vocabulary. It is about vocabulary. It is about contextual awareness. It is about word combinations. It is about word forms. It is about effective English. So here, whenever you come across an important combination, underline. What is the combination here? Accuse of. They have given in a few exams. Allegations against. Accuse of. Here it talks about the predecessor government TDP is accused of releasing funds. What is the main allegation? This sentence talks about that. Releasing funds for a skill development scheme for unemployed youth in the state and allegedly diverting, underline the word diverting, means taking in a different direction. A major portion, also underline a major portion, to shell companies. How many of you know the meaning of the word shell companies? Shell companies, you all know the word shell. Usually you come across shell companies in Calcutta, West Bengal. A lot of shell companies. Here shell companies are nothing but fake companies. Write the meaning. Shell companies means fake companies, not real companies. And I told you to underline a major portion. Imagine there's a person, whenever it comes to sharing, he or she always wants a major portion. What is the idiom for that? All of you write lion's share. Very good. Lion's share means major portion, major chunk. This is an important idiom you have to know. He always wants the lion's share. So major portion, the lion's share, to shell companies based on. Because they are fake companies, what do they produce? Fake invoices. Even as private, there's one more dimension. One goes with diverting the funds to the fake companies. The other dimension, even as private partner entities, underline the word entities. I hope you are able to catch my pace. I'm doing a bit fast. Write the word singular form. What is the singular form? Entity. That means which part of speech is it? Noun. Entity means it could be an animal, it could be a plant, it could be an organization, it could be an individual. Just write this way, something that exists. Something that exists. It has its own identity. Then we use entity. But I want to give an important expression. First you listen. If you take an organization, a lot of people are there, or a small group, about 5 or 6. All the members are active except one person. That person is part of the group but does not say, does not contribute, always remains silent. Then we say he is a non-entity in the group. So write the expression. That's an important expression you have to know. Non-entity means a person without any importance. Write the meaning. Non-entity means what? A person without any importance. He is a non-entity in the group. Means no importance in the group. I hope you got the meaning. Here he talks about diverting the funds, and also the second dimension, even as private partner entities which were roped in, underline roped in. Rope in means to have a relationship, to have an understanding, to go in for an agreement. Rope in a research team means take the help of the research team. Roped in to invest in the scheme had not put in their requisite share. Not put in, underline put in, that's a phrasal verb. Write the meaning based on this context. Contribute. Here put in their requisite share means did not contribute. But requisite, underline that word. And write this one. Prerequisite. Have you heard of this? Generally we talk about something, we say, before you do that, this is a prerequisite. Means what? You have to do beforehand. It is a requirement. So prerequisite, a requirement to be fulfilled. What is the spelling of fulfilled? Single L, F-U-L, F-I-L-L-E-D. To be fulfilled beforehand. Beforehand means what? In advance. a requirement to be fulfilled beforehand. It is a prerequisite. You should be a graduate to take a particular exam. Being a graduate is a prerequisite. Have you got the meaning now? Let us go to the next sentence. Now it talks about the investigating agencies. The AP CID has claimed, underline has claimed. Which tense is that? Present perfect. The AP CID has claimed that there were other rule violations in the implementation of the scheme, even as the Enforcement Directorate launched a separate inquiry based on the FIR filed by the AP CID in December 2021, leading to arrest of individuals who had purportedly, underline the word purportedly, and here underline the word separate. What is the spelling of separate? A common error, a lot of people write SEPE. It is not SEPE. What is it? SEPA. And what is the meaning of purportedly? That's an important word. Please, which part of speech is it? Adverb, purportedly adverb, and write the meaning. Something appears to be true, but may not be true. Appears to be true, but may not be true. This is one meaning. It has another meaning. Write the other meaning. It also means allegedly. Allegedly. But generally it goes with the first meaning. What is the first meaning? Something appears to be true but may not be true. Let us go to the next one. It's a lengthy sentence, but it talks about when it was initiated, by whom. When was it initiated? 2021. By whom? Enforcement Directorate. And they go hand in hand. AP CID has claimed that there were other rule violations in the implementation of the scheme, even as the Enforcement Directorate launched a separate inquiry based on the FIR filed by the AP CID in December 2021, leading to arrest of individuals who had purportedly benefited from the transfer of money from the government. So what do you understand? What is the allegation here? Some individuals got benefited because the funds were diverted from the government to those individuals. And the case is all about that. The AP CID has now named, underline one unit. Again, which tense is that? See, so many times, present perfect, has named the former Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu, TDP, as a prime accused, underline the word prime. If you watch TV, usually they say prime time. Prime time means what? The most important time slot, prime time serial. So prime accused means the main accused, main person accused in the case, leading to his arrest, with its economic offences wing seeking to establish the link between him and other private beneficiaries, those who got the funds of the government's release of money for the scheme. Easy to understand. Now let us go to the second. This is all about the editorial provided information, what happened, how it happened, when it started, who was arrested, allegations, all that. Now editorial takes a particular stand. It tries to analyze and it expresses its opinion, whether this is sincere, genuine, or some sort of political vendetta. Second part is all about the stand taken by the editorial. A look at the evolution of the case, with Mr. Naidu being named the prime accused only recently, underline only recently. When did it happen? When was it initiated? Way back in 2021. Now it is 2023. Elections are fast approaching. Based on that, only recently raises a suspicion. Underline the word raises. Why should you underline that? I told many a time, whenever you come across two verbs, one of the two, rise, raise, you got to be alert and answer immediately. Rise is a transitive or intransitive? Brackets right, intransitive verb. It cannot take an object. Is it a regular or irregular? Irregular verb. Raise is what? A regular verb, and it can take an object. It is a transitive verb. Once you know this, you can spot the error in the exam. They have given many a time. Arises what? There's an object here. The suspicion of whether political vendetta is also guiding the investigations. So here political vendetta means some sort of political revenge being behind guiding the investigations. Irrespective of the merits of the case, his incarceration, an important word even I have come across for the first time, an important word, put a star mark. What does it mean? To be in prison. You can also write imprisonment. Means what? Imprisonment. To be in prison. Have you heard of this word any time? His incarceration will be seen in the light of zealousness. Underline the word zeal. What is the meaning of the word zeal? Enthusiasm, a lot of enthusiasm. From that you get the noun form, zealousness, of agencies such as the ED to use arrests, especially those involving the political opposition as a political weapon in various cases. Here it talks about, though he has been arrested, actually he has been arrested. There could be some sort of merit in that, but because of the timing, they may look at the case as some sort of political vendetta and some sort of ulterior motive. Ulterior motive means what? I've just used one word. Please write the word. Ulterior motive means a selfish motive. Ulterior motive means what? Selfish. Selfish motive of the current regime because elections are fast approaching. Ulterior, important word. It talks about, though there could be a merit in the case, there is the element of suspicion. What is a suspicion? Ulterior motive. And the next sentence talks about, rather than, underline rather than, relying on documentary evidence in its investigations, the ED is a recourse. A recourse also an important word. Underline the word. A recourse means take the support of something in a difficult situation. You are in a difficult situation, that time you want to take the support of someone, then you have to use the word recourse. Have you got the meaning? How is it used here? The ED is recourse to high profile arrests, means resort. Write another word. Recourse, you can also say. Resort has two different meanings. Generally resort, noun or verb? Noun. Summer resort, winter resort. But resort also means to depend on. To depend on. They resorted to violence. Means what? They depended on violence. Here recourse to high profile arrest is now being replicated. Underline the word replicate. I am sure you all know the meaning of the word replicate. Replicate means what? Produce the same of something, like producing a copy of something. Replicate what in this context? Here, where is this replicate? Replicated by state agencies as well. So EDs stand and state agencies are trying to replicate the stand taken by the ED. That's what it means. The next sentence talks about some responsibility. There's one important word, the onus. Underline the word onus. Which part of speech is it? Right, noun. Onus means a responsibility. The onus is on you means what? The responsibility is on you. In this context, the onus is on what or which organization? The onus is now on the AP CID to establish a clear link between Mr. Naidu and the alleged irregularities in the scheme. They have to establish. That is their responsibility. Dealing with malfeasance and corruption cases is no easy task. Here we can also say not an easy task, no easy task. Underline that, nothing wrong with that. For state agencies, it is not that easy for state agencies to prove a case like this. It's a very complicated thing. A lot of people perhaps involved in this scam. But if they are to tackle the problem, underline the word tackle. I'm sure you all know the word tackle. Means what? Deal with. But if they are to tackle, underline they are to tackle an important pattern. I told yesterday also. She is to write a letter. I am to give a speech. Remember the pattern you have got today also. They are to tackle the problem of corruption in governance. Such agencies must not be seen. Underline must not be seen. Answer my question, is it active voice or passive voice? Passive voice, please write passive voice. Must not be seen to be doing the bidding of the party in power. Means they should not look like they are supporting the party in power. That means in this context, YSRCP. They have to be neutral, obviously. How does the editorial end? Else, underline the word else. In this context, else means what? Otherwise. Write the word otherwise. If they don't project a neutral image, what will happen? Otherwise, such actions only result in the cynicism. Underline the word cynicism. And write one word, cynical. Write two words, one cynical and write the other word skeptic. Tell me what is the difference between cynical, skeptic. Skeptic means someone who doubts. Nothing wrong with that. Skeptic is a neutral word. But cynical means pessimist. Someone who always thinks negatively. What is the word for that person? Pessimist. Cynical. Cynical attitude. Combination word. We also say always negative. What will you say? Sick attitude. Sick person. Not physically, mentally. Have you got the meaning? Otherwise, such actions only result in the cynicism of the electorate about corruption and erode their trust in institutions. Public trust these institutions, and these institutions try to favor the current regime, then the public will trust that they don't trust. They don't trust. They lose their trust. Underline the word erode. Erode goes with what? What is the noun form of that? Please write. And what is the typical combination? Soil erosion. And sometimes it goes with confidence. His confidence got eroded after the match. Means what? Lost his confidence. I have done only the vocabulary part and the grammar part because so many words. How many words have you got roughly? More than 15 words, I suppose. Easily. Let us go to the first exercise here. Please spend time on the questions and write about the editorial. What is the first exercise here? No, something went wrong. Error location. Here you got this yesterday. That means you should be able to spot the error. Familiar context, not 24 hours. Memory is fresh. Tell me where the error is. The axiom that there are no limits to human ability often faces its stiffest resistance in elite sport. Which word is not correct? Here, the axiom that there are no limits. When you say no limits or there are limits, this is not easy. Under pressure, it looks perfect. But there is an error. What is wrong here? What is the axiom? There are limits to human ability. Can you say there are no limits to human ability? So strike off the word no. There are limits to human ability. Go to question number 2. The straight set victory over Russia's Daniil Medvedev in US Open final drew him level with Margaret Court's all-time record of 24 crowns. Wonderful. Here underline US Open. Whenever we talk about a particular sports event, we have to use a definite article the. The Wimbledon, the US Open, the World Cup. So here you write the definite article the. Go to the third question. 2 years ago in New York, Medvedev has stopped Djokovic completing the Grand Slam. Underline the time phrase. What is the time phrase here? 2 years ago. That goes into past? Yes. Then you have to use past tense or present perfect. Past tense, not even past perfect. But it refers to, context we don't know. Imagine it refers to first action, then you have to use past perfect. I think editorial refers to the first action. Based on that, is it has stopped or had stopped? Please write it. Had stopped. And write past perfect tense. Coming into Sunday, the 27-year-old was fresh off a terrible semi-final, a win over tournament favorite and top seed Carlos Alcaraz. Is it terrible or terrific? Please correct that word. Terrible means what? Very bad. Terrible food, terrible movie. But terrific has a positive connotation. And try to spot the error in the last question. What stood out at Flushing Meadows is the way golf handled Sabalenka's baseline barrage. Where is the error? Is or was? Was. So strike off is and write was. Because here underline stood out, that is in the past. Then you cannot use the verb in the present form. Let us go to, it is not actually, I could not, lack of time, sometimes these things do happen. This is about a para jumble. How many parts are there? 7 parts, but you should get it. Let us go to the, you have the handout, so try to get the first one. To get the first one, take elimination approach. She made good on that early promise, but who? We have to start with the noun. And she again, pronoun cannot be the first one. A cannot be the first one. B cannot be the first one. C cannot be the first one. What is E cannot be the first one. Underline, however. Any sentence that begins with a contrasting word cannot be the first one. F cannot be the first one. Underline the conjunction and. When she upset, again a pronoun cannot be the first one. So what is the first one here? D is the first one. Goff first shot to the limelight at Wimbledon 2019. What is the second one? When she upset Venus Williams on her main draw debut. G is the next one. How did she shoot to the limelight? By defeating Venus Williams. DG one pair. What is the next one? Defeating Venus Williams, not a small thing. Next one is A. She made good on that early promise by reaching the 2022 French Open final and subsequently breaking into the top 10. So which two form one pair? AF. But continuation. But in July this year, what happened? She appeared to have hit a trough, exiting in the first round at Wimbledon. So here, after F, what is it? B. Then the writer wants to present contrasting information. What is the next one? However, with a spruced up game and a new coach in tow, former player Brad Gilbert, she secured 3 of her biggest titles in a 6-week span. Have you got the correct order? Yes or no? This is the correct order. Let us go to close test. Some important words you should get all correct. 2 years ago in New York, Medvedev had stopped Djokovic. What? Completing, very good. F is the answer. Completing a Grand Slam. The terrific feat of winning, or what is it? Onerous feat means what? Very difficult. C is the answer. Coming into Sunday, the 27-year-old was fresh off a terrific semi-final win over tournament favorite and top seed Carlos Alcaraz. But even at the age of 36, Djokovic showed he still had space to evolve and grow. What is the next one? rejigging his tactics. Fourth one, rejigging. Fifth one, his tactics by employing the servant volley and what? What is the last word you have? Mining every last reserve of his energy. Taking out every last reserve of his energy. Try to respond quickly. Is that the last one? What is the first one here? Error location. Second one, para jumble. Third one, close test. Now I want you guys to respond quickly, but how should you respond? You have to tell the part of speech, you have to tell the meaning. Are you ready? Hold up. First part of speech. It's a phrasal verb. Means what? Support. Throw up. In the context of the editorial, present a new idea or present a new development. But what are the other meanings of throw up? One is vomit, puke, and axiom. Establish the truth. First part of speech. Noun, establish truth. Elite. Part of speech. Adjective. Elite, sport, adjective. Means what? The cream of the society or the top high class of a society. Onerous, adjective. Means what? Something very difficult to do, an uphill task, Herculean task. A rejigging, a rearrange for improvement. Part of speech. A rejig is a verb, and tactics, noun, means what? Strategies. Maiden, adjective, meaning first time. Maiden, title. For the first time she got the title. Truff, part of speech, noun. Actually, it has two different meanings. This student, after the session, she came to me, goes with physics, am I right? It talks about going down and touching the lowest point. I gave the other meaning. What is the other meaning I gave? A container that holds either water or food for animals to drink or eat. In this context, what does it mean? Touching the lowest point. Because she lost in the first round. And what is the next one? Limelight. Part of speech, noun, but idiomatic expression. To be in the limelight. What does it mean? To be in the eyes of the public and everyone talks about you, or the media also writes about you. What is the next one? Spruce up. One word, part of speech, phrasal verb. Trim. Trim. Make something neat or better, short. Barrage. First part of speech, noun, barrier. Attrition, noun, but two different meanings. Typical meaning is what? If you take IT sector, employees, I told you, 1 month this company, another month a different company. Yesterday I did not give, there is another expression, all of you please write. That is also known as job hopping. You all know the word hop, jumping. Job hopping from one company to another company, that is known as attrition. But in the context of the editorial, what is the meaning of the word attrition? She could defeat her opponent with attritional play, means make something weak and destroy. The second meaning goes with the context. And what is the next one here? In tow. In tow, I did not give the meaning yesterday. Please write the meaning. In tow means to follow someone. To follow someone. Or to be with someone. To accompany someone. To accompany, to be, to follow. And what is the last one? It's an idiomatic expression. Throw one's hat into the ring. Take up the challenge, ready to fight. And what is the meaning of throw one's towel into the ring? Accept defeat, concede defeat. Wonderful. Today I see a lot of improvement. I appreciate your response. And next time more students if they respond. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.